In this video, we're going to talk about and I'm going to show you a demonstration of how to get the link to your class meet session and share it with another section. So why would you want to do that? Well, one reason you would do that is if you're teaching the same course and you're teaching two different sections, you may want to combine those two sections in order to, number one, possibly save yourself time. So instead of having to do two meet sessions, you can do one with a larger class. That's certainly your choice if that works for you. And also maybe even to have collaboration between those two sections. There's a lot of advantages to doing that. So I'm going to show you how to get people into those two sections. Show you how to get those two sections combined into one meet session. And we'll talk about some of the upsides and the downsides to that and how you might want to think about it and also share the recordings from those meetings. So here we're going to take a look at how do you get people into one of those. So first we're going to go to Apps, click on Meet, and we need to get the meeting link. So I'm going to show you how to get to that from here. Now you might think I just right click on this and get the link, but that will not work. So we're going to enter the meeting and we're going to let that load, and then I'll show you the easiest way to get that meeting link. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to go up to Meet and then go to Manage Meeting Information, and then below that you'll see Manage Access and Entry. And then we'll go to Invite Participants. And you'll see here's the link. It's pretty straightforward. It's got a pattern to it so you can tell. If I click on that and select it and copy it, I can now paste that into an email and email the students directly. Can certainly do that, but you'll notice you can also launch an email from here, and that's probably going to be a little bit easier, but again, that's up to you. So we're going to use that method. I'm going to click on Compose Email, and what that does is since I am already logged into Outlook and I have everything set up, it's going to let me do that. So now you can see, please join me in the following meeting, give you the name, who is inviting them, and since I'm the host, it knows that's who I am, and then to join the meeting, here's the link. You'll notice that there's a lot of information here. All of this is automatically populated from the Adobe Connect system. So you can change it, remove it, do whatever you want to do with that. You don't have to leave it this way, but this will be your opportunity to put a specific message to your students on how you want that done. So I'm going to minimize this a little bit so it's not quite so large. And then I'm going to go back to my course. So the other part of this is how do I get the email addresses for students? You get those from the roster. So you would go through the same procedure where you select all, you click email, and then you can get those. This is a special course, so I can't get the email addresses here, but luckily I have them already on a list that I can use. So that's my list of email addresses, and that's what we're going to use for this. So you're wanting to share 36 with section which is 37. So we're going to go to the Jump To menu, and I'm going to go this way because this is the easiest for me, and then go to 37. And now we're in a different section, and we want to share 36's link within 37. So again, I would go here to my roster, and I could get everybody's email address, and I would put those into that email. Like I said, I'm going to use my Excel spreadsheet because I just happen to have that already populated. And I've got my email addresses right here. So I'm going to copy those. Then I'm going to go back and open up that email address that email I'd already started. Then I will paste those in. Again, you would do the same procedure. You would just be pasting in the addresses that you got from the roster. There we go. So if I check names, I'll make sure that it gets them all correct for me. So now it says Adobe Connect invitation. Again, I can change the subject if I need to, so it makes more sense. If I tell them what to do here, and they'll go and they'll join this meeting. If I click send, they're going to get that as an email from them, and they'll be able to click on that link and get to it. So in our case, let's actually just sort of simulate that. So I'm going to copy that link address again. And what I want to do is use a different browser in order to demonstrate this. So I'm pulling up another browser now. So if I were a student, I would paste this in, or in that case, click on the link in the email. And now it's going to ask me if I want to get into 210.36. And I do. And it's going to ask me to enter as a guest. I do have to do that. I cannot use the enter as a password because as a student, I don't have a password like it is for hosts. So I'm going to put that in. I'm just going to write student just for this example. And then I'm going to click enter room. So now it's going to load the room and enter me as a guest, or in this case, a participant. And you can see here I am. I'm a participant, I'm a student, and I'm now into the room. So that's going to be a great way of combining those. So from the perspective of a workflow, let's just go back and kind of start at the beginning again. So just to do an overview of the workflow again, I'll go to the meeting that I want to use as the base. So which meeting do I want to bring everybody into? So in my case, the meeting I wanted to bring everybody into was 36. Who did I want to invite to 036 as the main meeting? I wanted to invite everybody from 037. So I got their email addresses from 037. I invited them through the tool itself, through the actual meeting to 37 and 236. And I was able to bring them all into that meeting. And that was a nice way to do it relatively quickly and pretty straightforward, actually. So that was a very straightforward way of doing it. Let's look at that one more time. So again, to get to that link, you go to Meeting, Manage Access and Entry, and Invite Participants. So now we have the link to that meeting. So just to emphasize again, you can either use the compose mail and go through that automated process, or you can simply take that and copy it and paste it into an email. Now, what are some of the downsides to doing this? There are a couple. I think one of the biggest downsides is that any recording you create will not automatically show in the app's recording section for the group that you invited. So, as we talked about, since I invited everyone from 37 to 36, no one's going to see the recordings from 36. They're not going to see them. And I would say that's a downside. So if I were to go to 36, and I were to go to the apps menu and go to Meet, what I'd want to be looking for is how do I share these with the other group? So what I can do for that is I can look at the view. So let's look at view if I go to that. So if I click on view, it's going to start the launcher for me. And I go to this meeting. This is a link that you can use. So I'm going to copy this one. And then we're going to test it real quick. So I've gotten that link. We're going to go again back to our other browser because we do want to make sure that we can show that. So I'm going to paste that link into the browser. And now I can view that recording. So what you'll want to do is share that link that we just got. You're going to share that within the course itself. Like I said, if you don't share that with your other section, they'll never see it. So for instance, if I go to 37 and I put this in here, maybe I call it meeting recording links. And then I would need to put that in here. So I could do a link, paste that in, make the target, new window, click OK. And now if students click on this, they'll be able to see that link. So again, that's one of the downsides to that. So you'll just need to think about choosing a base or choosing one section that's kind of the core, and then just remembering to share those recording links with the other sections that you bring in. So again, I think the advantages are you combine those, you may save time, you might even increase your collaboration between sections. And it's really pretty exciting to be able to do that. It gives you a lot of flexibility. So if you have any questions, let us know. Other than that, I enjoy combining those, and hopefully the students will find some value out of it as well.